Excuse me? See, this is why I want to go into the other one. Excuse me. It's Mount Coronet making its return. Excuse me. And that's what I'm looking for a bit more. Did we just accidentally Crown Tundra? Yo, that is 100% Crown Tundra. They really be making me do it. I had to dust off my 3DS for this one because apparently there's a Gen 8 Easter egg in Pokemon Sun and Moon. Not talking about Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, not talking about Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. We gotta go back to 2016, in development for over 3 years, Pokemon Sun and Moon, where they were able to sneak in Dynamax, and it was just discovered. Now that is some insanity. So we have this poster on the wall at the Game Freak headquarters. And what makes this even more significant is where Game Freak resides, in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, is where we had the tease for Generation 7. It seems like there's always an Easter egg in these modern Pokemon games, and we can even go back to Pokemon X and Y, where they were just straight up about it. They were overt. They were building the hype back in 2013 with the Strange Souvenir. And even then, the Strange Souvenir was games off. Oh, Strange Souvenir, and then Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire happened. Not really too many teases for the Hoenn remakes, but with this, they were like, yeah, it's not Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, Unova. Had to wait until Alola came out, and then Strange Souvenir was a thing, and it was just like a normal thing. You know, we were looking at it, it was like, wait, what Pokemon, what item, what region was it set up? Well, Hawaii was kind of like the obvious one. Even like when we first saw the tease with the announcement, it all comes together for Pokemon Sun and Moon, Hawaii was the thing, and then the Strange Souvenir kind of backed that up. So it's kind of changed it like, oh, not a faraway region. We now know about the Alola region. Let's get it going. So we got all of that fun stuff, and then now we have the Gen 8 just chilling in Pokemon Sun and Moon. And if you don't believe it, let's go and just extract the files, because Pokemon Sun and Moon has been busted wide open for a long time now. So here's the textures from the Game Freak building, and yeah, that bottom center one, that looks very much like Gigantamax Toxtricity. Like, when you pull that up, there is no denying it. You know, it doesn't have like the big tail center, but I mean, this is like super beta designs for Pokemon Sword and Shield at this point. Either way, we got the yellow eyes, we got the yellow mohawk, we got the purple, we got the antenna. It's some crazy stuff, and it seems like some kind of advertisement. This seems like something in the Pokemon world that would be announcing a giant gigafactor for Pokemon in some kind of way, but we couldn't know. We wouldn't have known. Same thing going back to what happened with the Alolan Exeggutor. Like, we don't know, we couldn't know, but this was kind of like an interesting thing, because Exeggutor's lore, or Alolan Exeggutor's lore, goes all the way back to Generation 1, because their heads grow super long in Great Climate. And then we got that Great Climate coming up, and we got a representation of that, and Game Freak were just like super sneaky and super cheeky, but we can look at this, because maybe this gives us some look into designs for scrap Pokemon. I don't think it's going to go so far that we have like upcoming Pokemon or more teases on Gigantamax or something, but the top right, it looks like Copperajah to me too. And as we've learned from like the beta Pokemon designs and the data mines and the leaks from like all the old demos and stuff, there was recently that massive dump from like a Korean 1996 or 1997 Generation 2 early gold beta that had a ton of Pokemon that no one ever seen before. Like, pretty much, I think there's more scrap Pokemon, well, there's definitely more scrap Pokemon designs than actual finalized Pokemon designs, and more of them keep on coming out. So is this just kind of a look at maybe some scrap Pokemon designs? Is that center one maybe like a Gigantamax Cryogonal that never made it? Other new Generation 8 Pokemon that we're going to be getting their Dynamax or Gigantamax? Or is it just like, you know, some kind of crazy stuff? Now that bottom left one also looks pretty wild, because it looks like some kind of rainbow snake. And depending on how you're looking at it, could just have like its mouth open and look all crazy. You know, we got some like, stuff going on in there. Something like that. Like, that's just outline. That's not what I think it looks like. But then you can use your imagination from there. And then maybe the top left is like Gigantamax Tyranitar that was scrapped. Maybe Olive Armor. Maybe Crown Tundra. Crown Tundra might make more sense on that one. But I see some. Either way, it's like super blurry. It's supposed to be obscured. but we have like just the one that makes the most sense with the Gigantamax Toxtricity. So we just have that insanity going on, and then it all comes together, guys. It always comes together. That's what we've learned here with Game Freak, with Pokemon. Sinnoh Remakes. I talked about this last year. If you want the full video, which is effectively like half this video and then half talking about all the other things a bit more in detail, but you go into Pokemon Let's Go into the Silphco, and there's a lot of art depicting Generation 4. Now, there's also other regional art, as we can see right there. We have, like, the Tin Tower, so that makes sense. Or is it the Bell Tower? I always get them confused. Was it the Tin Tower that burned down? Give me a second for lore. Ah, got it. Bell Tower is the Tin Tower, and then the Burn Tower was the Brass Tower. I hope you enjoyed my TED Talk. But yeah, so I mean, we've seen those Easter eggs before. We've talked about it. But I mean, like, that's interesting that we have Spear Pillar, but we also just straight up have Mount Coronet. And that's like the classic, you know, Pokemon anime view of Mount Coronet right there. But it's there. And it's going to be one of those things, like when Gen 4 remakes come out, even though it's not really a surprise. It's not like we have to look super deep to be like, oh man, the Gen 4 remakes were hinted or they were teased or something. But Game Freak tends to be doing this thing of like skipping a game. You know, we had well actually, we had like Pokemon Sun and Moon, Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Then we go into Let's Go. Then we went to Pokemon Sword and Shield with this new discovery and all this like recent crazy stuff that's been popping up with that. And we do know that Pokemon games do have very long development cycles, or like, you know, 3 to 4 years and stuff. So that means Gen 4 remakes would be being worked on right now, but also being worked on in Pokemon Let's Go and Pikachu and Eevee, and Pokemon Sword and Shield would already be well underway in development at that time. So there are some like interesting and weird overlaps that would kind of line it up, and it would be cool if that was like an Easter egg. It is kind of a problem though when there's like other bits of art that get in the way. It's not like one standout Sinnoh thing that like really points to it like we've seen with this. Like that, you can't deny that. That's just like, oh, hardcore. And then with what we have recently is also pretty insane. So we got that. And you know what? I guess that means, like, do we have to go to the Game Freak building and Pokemon Sword and Shield and give it another look over? I guess that's where we are. But you can also see some of the other posters. So that means that's supposed to be Gigantamax. That's supposed to represent something. That one really looks like Copperajah. Then we got some other doodles and some other shenanigans going on. But yeah, while y'all were here only caring about the shiny charm, we had these Dynamax posters and all this other kind of stuff hanging around. You know, you just want to talk to Morimoto. No, the secret was right here all along. All right, let's hop into Pokemon Sword and Shield. And that means the search is on. Like, is this the Easter egg right here? Just that Game Freak is holing up in the snowy city because Sinnoh's kind of the cold region. I don't know, it could be something as stupid as that. Maybe there's another thing kind of hanging around somewhere else in the city and not necessarily the hotel that could kind of point to it. What's this guy talking about? Is that Persian engraved on this wall? I mean, that also doesn't look like Zacian Zamazenta for the straight up wolves. There's also like a lot of non-Pokemon inside the games. There's probably someone that's probably found some kind of text dialogue of maybe someone referring to something Sinnoh. Like, if there's anyone referring to anything Sinnoh in the city, then that's where things kind of get crazy. But as far as I remember, like, I haven't gone to Game Freak offices in a while, or like they're in a hotel. So it's kind of not the same, but is the same. Because they were visiting the Lily Cove Hotel. So you'd imagine, like, oh, they wouldn't have... Excuse me, sir. Excuse me? See, this is why I want to go into the other one. Excuse me. It's Mount Coronet making its return. Excuse me. And that's what I'm looking for a bit more. Did we just accidentally Crown Tundra? Yo, that is 100% Crown Tundra. And then the rest of this is blocked off. Oh, we could go up into some of the rooms, I guess. Is that the actual picture of the crown? Hold up, are we going down the rabbit hole now? For those of you who don't know, I'm referring to this part right here. I'm also like, I was on the Pokemon Sword and Shield website for another picture. But I mean, it kind of has that same energy to me. Because if we go through like the other parts, okay, let's just mute this and I think we play it from this part. We can see that there's a lot, like, it's not only frozen wasteland. So we look at this part's in the valley, and that's why I'm like, this this is like the same color tone as this little area, like to the right for me. Oh wait, I can't show it because my mouse doesn't show up in the game. Either way, so yeah, on that, that looks kind of the same color. Like we're kind of getting that peak down in the valley. Same with this right here, and then we go into the main picture. I don't know, guys. I think we might have just confirmed Crown Tundra. And I don't know where the Isle of Armor... Don't ask me where the Isle of Armor connection is. We're not going that deep. So... Was not expecting that. And then the question is, do any of the other rooms show anything else? Also, I guess you can bridge from up here. Man, we're gonna have to tear down this whole hotel to figure out what's... I haven't done any of the mini quests here. Alright, so now I'm on the Game Freak side, but just bruh. Also, maybe, is that like the Crown Tundra mountain? Because it's also like a pretty big mountain, so it might not be Sinnoh confirmed or anything. But it looks like a lot of the paintings are reused, and all of the room layouts seem to be the same. But that actually might be something to look into, because if Game Freak has a special room layout, then there might be something going on. Yeah, see, it's this, like, so this room is mirrored from the other side. It's just like, same picture over here. Just looks like some kind of tree with blossoms or something, and then, yeah, so all the rooms are the same, which means we get to see if Game Freak has anything special going on. And first, let's check this room. It's just normal. So yeah, this might have just been the big Crown Tundra tease, interestingly enough. And yeah, so we got Omori, we got bros just chilling in here. I feel like, yeah, if they already said like direct things to Sinnoh, people would have found out by now. So yeah, there might have actually been a mini discovery going on here. So I don't think everyone got their shiny charm early on, or their oval charm, or did whatever with Morimoto to just kind of like get their game moving across. They didn't care about anything else. So yeah, guys, tell me what you think. How do you feel? Like, don't let this distract from the other shenanigans we stumbled into about Dynamax being predicted in Pokemon Sun and Moon. Man, if only those angry kids would have known about it sooner, so they could get mad. They could get the removal of Mega Evolution out of the way, and then prepare for this new mechanic. But overall, I call shenanigans. Oh, I don't want to talk. Yeah, Whimsicott, tell me your secrets. Random dude, tell me your secrets. History and Sir Chester. This dude's on a date. Winden, Champion Cup. All makes sense. Alright. Well, there we go, guys. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.